Welcome back, fourth graders. We're going to be doing some more reading of The Lightning Thief. And we left off with Percy, Annabeth, and Grover were in this water park trying to do a quest for Ares. And it's going to be really, really intense and interesting. So we left off with this part. It said, the sign above it read, Thrill Ride of Love. This is not your parents' tunnel of love. Grover crept toward the edge. Guys, look! Maroon at the bottom of the pool was a pink and white two-seater boat with a canopy over the top and little hearts painted all over it. In the left seat, glinting in the fading light, was Ares' shield, a polished circle of bronze. This is too easy, I said. Sweetest, walk down there and get it? Annabeth ran her fingers along the base of the nearest Cupid statue. There's a Greek letter carved here, she said. Etta. I wonder... Grover, I said, do you smell any monsters? He sniffed the wind. Nothing. Nothing like in the arch, and he didn't spell echidna nothing, or really nothing. Grover looked hurt. I told you that was underground. Okay, I'm sorry. I took a deep breath. I'm going down there. I'll go with you. Grover didn't sound too enthusiastic, but I got the feeling he was trying to make up for what happened in St. Louis. No, I told him. I want you to stay up on top with the flying shoes. You're the Red Baron, a flying ace, remember? I'll be counting on you for backup in case something goes wrong. Grover puffed up his chest a little bit. Sure, but what could go wrong? I don't know, just a feeling. Annabeth, come with me. Are you kidding? She looked at me as if I'd just dropped from the moon. Her cheeks were bright red. What's the problem now? I demanded. Me? Go with you? On a ride that's called the Thrill Ride of Love? How embarrassing is that? What if somebody saw me? Who's gonna see you? My face is burning now, too, so they're both embarrassed. Leave it to a girl to make everything complicated. Fine, I told her, I'll do it myself. But when I started down the side of the pool, she followed me, muttering about how boys always messed things up. We reached the boat. The shield was propped on one seat, and next to it was a lady's silk scarf. I tried to imagine Ares and Aphrodite here, a couple of gods meeting in a junked-out amusement park ride. Why? Then I noticed something I hadn't seen up from top. Mirrors all the way around the rim of the pool, facing this spot. We could see ourselves no matter which direction we looked. That must be it. While Ares and Aphrodite were smooching with each other, they could look at their favorite people, themselves. I picked up a scarf. It shimmered pink, and the perfume was indescribable, rose or mountain laurel. Something good. I smiled, a little dreamy, and was about to rub the scarf against my cheek when Annabeth ripped it out of my hand and stuffed it in her pocket. Oh, no you don't. Stay away from that love magic. What? Just get the shield, Seaweed Brain, and let's get out of here. The moment I touched the shield, I knew we were in trouble. My hand broke through something that had been connecting to the dashboard. A cobweb, I thought, but then I looked at a strand of it on my palm and saw it was some kind of metal filament. So fine it was almost invisible. A tripwire. Wait, Annabeth said. Too late. There's another Greek letter on the top of on the side of the boat. Another Etta. This is a trap. Noise erupted from all around us, millions of gears grinding, as if the whole pool were turning into one giant machine. Grover yelled, Guys! Up on the rim, the Cupid statues were drawing their bows into firing position. Before I could suggest taking cover, they shot, but not at us. They fired at each other, across the rim of the pool. Silky cables trailed from the arrows, arcing over the pool and anchoring where they landed to form a huge golden asterisk. Then something metallic, or smaller metallic threads, started weaving together magically between the main strands, making a net. We have to get out, I said. Duh, Annabeth said. What would you do right now if all these Cupids are making this metal net that's trapping you? How would you handle this? What would you do if you were Percy and Annabeth, or even Grover? I'll give you a chance to think here for a second. You can pause me while you're answering. It'll be interesting. Again, I'm not sure what I would do right now. I think I'd be in a really bad situation if I were them. I wouldn't know how to solve this. I'd hope that good old Annabeth would come up with a plan again. So, they're making a net. We have to get out of here, duh, Annabeth said. I grabbed the shield and we ran. But going up the slope of the pool was not as easy as going down. Come on, Grover shouted. He was trying to hold up an open section of the net for us, but wherever he touched it, golden threads started to wrap around his hands. The Cupid's heads popped open. Out came video cameras. Spotlights rose up all around the pool, blinded us with illumination. And a loudspeaker voice boomed, "Live to Olympus in 1 minute, 59 seconds, 58. Hephaestus, Annabeth screamed. And so stupid. Edda is H. He made this trap to catch his wife with Ares. Now we're going to be broadcast live to Olympus and look like absolute fools." We almost made it to the rim when the row of mirrors opened like hatches and thousands of tiny metallic things poured out. Annabeth screamed, "Ah!" It was an army of wind-up creepy crawlies, bronze gear bodies, spindly legs, little pincher mouths, all scuttling toward us in a wave of clacking, whirring metal. "Spiders!" Annabeth said. I'd never seen her act like this before. She fell backwards in terror and almost got overwhelmed by the spider robots before I pulled her up and dragged her back toward the boat. The things were coming out from all around the rim now, millions of them flooding toward the center of the pool, completely surrounding us. I told myself they probably weren't programmed to kill, just corral us and bite us and make us look stupid. Then again, this was a trap meant for gods, and we weren't gods. Annabeth and I climbed into the boat. I started kicking away at the spiders as they swarmed aboard. I yelled at Annabeth to help me, but she was too paralyzed to do much more than scream. 30, 29, called the loudspeaker. The spiders started spinning out strands of metal thread, trying to tie us down. The strands were easy enough to break at first, but there were so many of them, and the spiders just kept coming. I kicked one away from Annabeth's leg, and its pinchers took a chunk out of my new surf shoe. Grover hovered above the pool in his flying sneakers, trying to pull the net loose, but it wouldn't budge. Think, I told myself, think. The tunnel of love entrance was under the net. We could use it as an exit, except that it was blocked by a million robot spiders. 15, 14, the loudspeaker called. Water, I thought. I don't know why it took up so long to come up with this. Where does this ride's water come from? Then I saw them, huge water pipes from behind the mirrors where the spiders had come from. And up above the net next to one of the cupids, a glass-windowed booth that must be the controller station. "Grover," I yelled, "get into that booth. Find the on switch." "But do it!" It was a crazy hope, but it was our only chance. The spiders were all over the prow of the boat now. Annabeth was screaming her head off. I had to get us out of there. Grover was in the controller's booth now, slamming away at buttons. 5, 4. Grover looked up at me hopelessly, raising his hands. He was letting me know that he pushed every button, but still nothing was happening. I closed my eyes and thought about waves, rushing water, the Mississippi River. I felt a familiar tug in my gut. I tried to imagine that I was dragging the ocean all the way to Denver. 2, 1, 0. Water exploded out of the pipes. It roared into the pool, sweeping away the spiders. I pulled Annabeth into the seat next to me and fastened her seatbelt just as the tidal waves slammed into our boat. Over the top, whisking the spiders away and dousing us completely, but not capsizing us. The boat turned, lifted in the flood, and spun in circles around the whirlpool. The water was full of short-circuiting spiders, some of them smashing against the pool's concrete wall with such force they burst. Spotlights glared down at us. The Cupid cams were rolling, live to Olympus. Poor Percy and Annabeth. But I could only concentrate on controlling the boat. I willed it to ride the current, to keep away from the wall. Maybe it was my imagination, but the boat seemed to respond. At least, it didn't break into a million pieces. We spun around one last time. The water level now was almost high enough to shred us against the metal net. Then the boat's nose turned toward the tunnel, and we rocketed into the darkness. Annabeth and I held tight, both of us screaming, as the boat shot curls and hugged corners, and took 45-degree plunges past pictures of Romeo and Juliet and a bunch of other Valentine's Day stuff. Then we were out of the tunnel, the night air whistling through our hair, as the boat barreled straight toward the exit. If the ride had been in working order, we would have sailed off a ramp between the golden gates of love and splashed down safely in the exit pool. But there was a problem. There's always a problem. The gates of love were chained. 2 boats that had washed out the tunnel before us now were piled against the barricade, one submerged, the other cracked in half. Unfasten your seatbelt, I yelled to Annabeth. Are you crazy? Unless you want to get smashed to death? I strapped Ares' shield to my arm. We're going to have to jump for it. My idea was simple and insane. As the bolt struck, we would use its force like a springboard to jump the gate. I'd heard of people surviving car crashes that way, getting thrown 30 or 40 feet away from the accident. With luck, we would land in the pool. Annabeth seemed to understand. She gripped my hand as the gates got closer. On my mark, I said. No, on my mark. What? Simple physics, she yelled. Force times the trajectory angle. Fine, I shouted. On your mark. She hesitated, then yelled, Now! Crack! Annabeth was right. If we'd jumped when I thought we should have, we would have crashed into the gates. She got us maximum lift. Unfortunately, there was a little more than we needed. Our boat smashed into the pileup, and we were thrown into the air straight over the gates, over the pool, and down towards solid asphalt. Something grabbed me from behind. Annabeth yelled, Ouch! Do-do-do-do! Grover! In midair, he had grabbed me by the shirt and Annabeth by the arm and was trying to pull us out of the crash landing, but Annabeth and I had all the momentum. You're too heavy, Grover said. We're going down! We spiraled to the ground, Grover doing his best to slow the fall. We smashed into a photo board, Grover's head going straight into the hole where tourists would put their faces, pretending to be Nunu the friendly whale. Annabeth and I tumbled to the ground, banged up, but alive. Ares' shield was still in my arm. Once we caught our breath, Annabeth and I got Grover out of the photo board and thanked him for saving our lives. I looked back at the thrill ride of love. The water was subsiding. Our boat had been smashed to pieces against the gates. 100 yards away at the entrance pool, the Cupids were still filming. The statues had swiveled so that the cameras were turned or trained straight on us, the spotlights in our faces. Show's over, I yelled. Thank you and good night. The Cupids turned back to their original positions. The light shut off. The park went quiet and dark again, except for the gentle trickle of water into the Thrill Ride of Love's exit pool. I wondered if Olympus had gone to a commercial break or if our ratings had been any good. I hated being teased. I hated being tricked, and I had plenty of experience of handling bullies who liked to do that stuff to me. I hefted the shield onto my arm and turned to my friends. We need to have a little talk with Ares, the war god. Very interesting stuff. Next chapter is called We Take a Zebra to Vegas. This is also an entertaining chapter, so stay tuned. I hope you guys are listening and enjoying the book.